All right. Welcome, everybody. I cannot believe it is already our November live stream. This seems insane. And to think of that, we're not even a year in completely yet is even crazier. But we got some really good information for everyone tonight. It feels like it's been forever since I've been on, even though I think I've only missed one or one and a half. And tonight I'm sipping on my Hard Truth Barrels for Hope. Hopefully everybody's got that with them. And looking for Still Awesome to be coming, but we've got more information of that and some other updates. But before I kick it off to the rest of the crew, I want to give a quick kind of administrative boring update for everybody with our 501c3 charity status. The IRS surprisingly must have moved really quick and jumped way ahead. So our application was submitted on April 21st, 2023. And as of today, they are reviewing applications that were submitted April 6th, 2023. So we are right there. We're really close. I expect our application to be under review within a couple of weeks. And maybe by our next barrel pick, we might have that done and secured. So that's good news. But again, I can't believe it's almost December, almost end of the calendar year. And with that, well, we're going to hand it over to you, Lance. Were you going to be next?
Yeah, I can go next. I don't have a lot to report on tonight other than Narav and A1 did donate the next 3 allocated bottles for our year-end event, which is going to be Weller 12, a Blanton store pick, and an Eagle Rare. So we've added those to the mix. So we've got a lot of good bottles in there. That'll be exciting at the year-end event. Still Austin goes out Saturday. Everybody knows that. Everybody that wanted a bottle or 2 bottles even, we had enough to do that. Thank you guys so much for everybody that purchased an extra bottle. We only had 14 left that the store will get to sell. So that's great because every extra bottle you guys buy, of course, helps the charity. So that effectively helped us get about another $650 towards our year-end goal. So we appreciate everybody that got that. You guys are going to love the pick. It's absolutely awesome. Thank you guys for everybody that's coming Saturday. I think we have a pretty good crowd Saturday coming, so that should be a lot of fun. I'm excited to taste it and see how it turned out. So,
Awesome.
Other than that, I don't think I have anything else tonight.
Okay.
Yep, that was it for me.
Before we move on, I'm seeing a lot of our regulars in here. Paul, Mike, Liz, Earl. Hey, what's up? Ton of people in here. Top Dog, Bourbon Judge. Hey, Marcus, how's it going, buddy? SLB Drinks is in, watching, supporting. Awesome. Kevin, Alex, Mark. Man, we've got a bunch of people in here. Everybody giving a cheers and saying what's up.
Yeah, on that note, Joe, I gotta highlight Paul's comment there.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Wow. Yeah, waited long enough there, Paul. Good grief.
Congrats, though. Congrats on the baby. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Man. Oh, the baby apparently is going to be making an appearance at our Christmas party for the Whiskey Society too. So,
nice.
We're all looking forward to that. Burbage Engineer, David, 5th Quarter Tailgate. Awesome. So, again, cheers to all you. It's been a great year so far. We're going to wrap it up with some more good stuff to come. But I think we're on to Josh now because we have a couple of important updates before we get to the big news.
Yes. So definitely a couple of important updates, and we're going to do a little bad news, good news situation here. So everything actually is working out for the best, but inevitably when you're running an organization like this, as we've tried to be as transparent as possible with you guys through this whole process, things come up and you've got to be able to pivot and adjust and all that stuff. So won't bury the lead. Short barrels are a reality in this, even though we do everything we can possibly do to mitigate that. Distilleries don't always know how much yield a barrel has, all that stuff. So the Foregate yielded 30 bottles.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, you didn't mishear that.
That's 3-0.
Yeah.
30.
Yeah. Pause for emphasis. 30 bottles. We did express our yield needs. We do know that the only short barrel that they had ever released that was under what we planned on hitting, what we needed to hit, was Jason and Scott's super short barrel, which I think was like 50 something. This is 30 bottles. So,
I mean, I knew we were picking a good barrel, but gee whiz.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing, guys. We have a solution in place. I'm almost glad that it's 30 bottles and not like we're not just 30 bottles short of meeting everybody's needs. That would be a lot more difficult to deal with. The fact that it's only 30 bottles, we're so well short of it that we have to do a separate pick to replace the Foregate pick. And I'm super excited about that. We're going to get to that in just a second, but we want to kind of complete the Foregate conversation first. So there's a couple reasons why this is good. Okay. Granted, everybody's not getting a Foregate bottle. We do have 30. It was all board members on the pick because it was a sample pick. We weren't at a distillery. We couldn't dip a thief and see what the fill level was. So this stuff happens sometimes, and we knew it was a possibility, and especially on a virtual pick, it's something that can happen, and it did happen. We wish it would have waited a little longer, but we've got the board members who are part of the pick team. We've all decided to forego those bottles. We will not be purchasing one ourselves. Those are going to be 25 of them are going to be randomized for anybody who would like to be entered for one, or we'll just randomize everybody. And then we'll go down the list, but we will randomize 25 of those bottles. And, that's, nearly 20% of people will get one. We also encourage everyone to share samples or bring it to the year-end event if you're coming. Speaking of, we're going to have 5 at the year-end event for silent auction, which will help raise money. And I'm going to level with you guys here. Foregates are very, very expensive barrels, and they have very, very little margin. Like, it's staggering how expensive they are, and it's staggering how little margin they have. So by doing it this way, we are going to raise as much as we would have had we operated on the small margin, we hope, with people doing a silent auction for the 5 bottles we're bringing to the year-end event. And because we're not paying for 180 Foregate bottles, it opens up more budget in our budget to be able to donate to charity, to do a replacement pick, and still donate to charity. Like, we're swinging over $10,000 in the positive direction with this move. So it's a pretty big deal for the charity aspect, but that's the Foregate stuff. And if you have questions about it, be sure to leave them in the chat and we will answer those. I do see Brian is asking, how much was the barrel to only get 30 bottles out of it? Can you clarify that question? How much was the barrel to only get 30 bottles out of it?
I think he means, like, did we pay the full cost of a barrel and only got 30 bottles?
Oh, no.
That's not the case, Brian. With a barrel pick, you only pay for the number of bottles that the barrel yields.
Yeah.
So we only had to pay for 30 bottles. It's going to be separate and aside from the normal bottles, the normal 6. And so all of that, when we sell them, either from the 25 that will be picked and then the 5 at the annual event, that'll all go to charity, in addition to our 6 barrel pick that will replace it.
Yep. And for the ones that we're going to randomize, they're going to operate the same as if you want an additional barrel or bottle out of a barrel pick. They'll go through an online checkout system. You'll be invoiced by Reggie through Barrels for Hope, and they'll be $2.20 a piece, $15 shipping, I believe, 15 or 16, whatever Narav has that set at. And those will go out when we get them in, and when we'll be in contact with the people who win those, but the randomization process will be transparent. All that stuff, we want you guys to be in the loop on that. Now, that's all fine and well. It is disappointing that the barrel yielded so low. It's disappointing that we're all not getting one. However, I do think with the generosity of this community, a lot of us, hopefully all of us, will have a chance to try it. And the money that it does free up for charity, because when they told us the price of that barrel at wholesale, board members' jaws dropped. But the toothpaste had kind of was already out of the tube. We had already spoke it to you guys, so we wanted to fulfill on that promise. This is a little bit, I think Lance actually was the first person to say this. I think he said, I feel like this is a blessing in disguise, you guys, because that barrel was so expensive, and it didn't jeopardize us meeting our charity goals, but now we can kind of go above and beyond. Now, let's talk about the replacement for it. And I'm super excited about this because as much as I personally like Foregate, there is something out there. If you're going to be sourcing whiskey and doing things to it, maybe or maybe not doing things to it, there's another company out there that I like a lot. And Lance has been raving on them recently. Dusty Dan has put bottles from this place over, George T. Staggs and year-end best of. Independent Joe has put picks from this over George T. Staggs. I've put picks of this over heavy, high-hitting bottles. We're doing a Nashville Barrel Company pick, you guys. Yeah. And let me, if you don't know Nashville Barrel Company.
If anybody's ever heard of the Swag Junior or the People's Bourbon, you know how good those can be.
Yeah. What they're doing is amazing. If you know of Jason and Scott over at Mashin Journeys Whiskey Club, the Houdini pick they did, that was the one Dan put it was his whiskey of the year that year. And that, we definitely want to be really careful about dabbling in source stuff, but when it's this good, and I'll be also transparent with you guys here too, it was going to be almost impossible for us to be able to pull off a Nashville Barrel Company pick for Barrels for Hope because Illinois and A1, they get such a small allotment of those barrels every year. I think they get one, and that's, Narav wants that for his store, and rightfully so. Because Foregate has cleared up so much margin in the budget, we're able to go and purchase the whole barrel directly from Nashville Barrel Company ourselves. And that allows you guys to get it. And it will yield 100. They usually yield about 180 to 190 bottles. So we will have some extra bottles after we fulfill everybody if you guys want to purchase more from the pick. But yeah, we'll be doing, we'll be keeping you guys updated on the pick. It's happening January the 26th, and we will be drawing to be determined exactly, but 4 people for sure are coming on the pick with us. And we'll draw a couple of extra names in case people drop out, or if, it works out to where we can maybe bring another person or so. We're still finalizing that, but yeah, I'm super excited about that. Mark Emmenecker saying that's his birthday. That would be cool. That would be real cool, man.
Yeah, just to add a couple things to that, Josh. Well, number one, yeah. So this A1 did a pick of theirs last year. Is my favorite pick all year. And I told everybody in A1's group, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Go get this bottle. And people still left it on the shelf. So I had backups. I'm like, you guys are crazy. That beats so much that's you guys are chasing that's allocated. Second is that I'll post an opt-in post on Patreon. Look for that tomorrow. If that's okay with you guys. I guess I hadn't asked, but I think we'll do that tomorrow, and it's going to be January 26th at 10 a.m. is the pick. So if you can make it and you want to go on the pick and you haven't been on a pick yet, put your name in the opt-in post, and then we'll select 4 or 5 people to go with us on that.
And they are, well, we'll have to discuss this, but they're bottling same day. Like they work quick. So We do have to get the bottles from Nashville, Tennessee up to A1 where all our shipping supplies are and start getting those out to you guys. But if you are chosen to be part of the pick, there's really no reason why we need to waste a few bucks here and there that we could save on charity. You probably just go home with your bottles that afternoon. So
yeah, not to get too far in the weeds, but when we found out that the 4-gate barrel only yielded 30 bottles, it was a little bit, for me, I was a little bit freaked out because I knew, like, Illinois, most of our barrels are like spoken for the year. So we had to really scramble and figure out what we were going to do to replace it. And Josh, made some calls, and I don't think we could have picked a better replacement pick.
And I'll be honest, man, I like 4-gate a lot, but Nashville barrel is my favorite. I mean, I'm not trying to be a homer or whatever. It's happened in blinds time and time again. I just guys, their pallets, the barrels that they put into their single barrel program are so freaking good.
Voodoo. They're doing some voodoo. That's for
sure.
They're
doing some voodoo.
Yeah. I mean, this is crazy dark.
Yeah.
And we're going to be picking, I need to check the email. I believe we're going to be picking a 7-year something. So we will see 7 years in that range, which is what the 4-gate was before the finishing. You guys, this pick is going to be awesome. And I do have to take my hat off to Mike and James over at Nashville Barrel, the two guys that run it. They have huge hearts for charity. They do a ton of stuff with cancer and military. So they fall right in line with what we're all about. And yeah, I mean, it's, they're really excited to have us there. I have a hometown connection. I'm in there all the time. We tend to get pretty good barrels and we do picks there. Now we've got a charity angle. Just saying, I think it's gonna be a pretty good pick.
Yeah.
Hadn't tasted the barrels yet, but
I did want to address real quick. Fifth Quarter Tailgate said, wasn't there a list randomizer of people who hadn't been picked for barrel picks? Now we have to opt in. Why the change? Great question. From my point of view, if you've ever tried to number one, schedule a pick and then go through 140 people's time and dates and work schedules, you end up selecting 15 people and 15 people can't go. And then you have to wait a couple days for another person to go and another person to say whether they can go or not. And then they don't get the email. And then by the time they do, they're mad because we moved on. It's just a nightmare. So from my point of view, along with running the picks and doing the shipping and trying to figure out who's buying bottles and not, like, guys, all our times are stretched thin. This just streamlines it. And so all you have to do is watch Patreon and opt in if you can make the pick. It's really not that hard, I don't think. And it helps us all out a lot.
Yeah, Scott, that's a great question. And that's something that been a what's the word I'm looking for here? It's like, that's been like the thorn in our side on the communication side, is like, you'll draw 15 people's names over and over again, and inevitably people can't make it. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Yeah. And I see your follow up there. Just wanted to clarify for transparency.
Yeah.
I do want to say, Dan S asked, we getting Kelvin barrels? I know some NBC is. I ain't messing with barrels there that ain't Kelvin barrels. I can tell you that right now. Yeah. That's where the magic is.
You know who you're talking to, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a couple other stuff going on here. Brian asked about the 4-gate pick. Yeah. So the people who get the 25, they get drawn. They'll have to pay for those. They're not getting that as their 6th bottle. Everybody will get the NBC pick as their 6th bottle. So they'll be paying for that above and beyond. And then there was a couple more up here. Henry asked if we're live on Facebook only or someone's YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel, Barrels for Hope. So if anybody out there is watching on Facebook and you did not realize that we have our own YouTube channel, we do. So
we're there right now.
Subscribe to it and share it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure.
And then Mike says, why didn't we auction all 30 bottles? If he would get one, he would donate one. Mike, we talked about that, and we really wanted everyone to have a chance at them. And typically what happens when you have auctions is you have a few people who have a lot more disposable income than others, and it gets bidded up too high and a lot of people get bid out. So we want to raise a lot of money. So we're setting aside 5 at the end of the year to auction. But we wanted everyone to have at least a fair shake at getting one. So we're going to be just doing the random drawing for the 25. It'll be the normal cost, $220. And then we'll have the 5 that if someone didn't get a bottle and really wants one and really wants to support the charity and can bid it way up, that's great. And then we have that as well. So that's where we were at.
Yeah. And to Joe's point, we're discussing ways to make the year-end event raffle in the same realm so that not everybody's outbid with, that has a lot higher disposable income. We want to make it as fair as possible, but we want to raise as much money as possible too. So it'll probably be a little bit of everything. So
a little bit of everything in there.
Yeah.
So those some good questions. So hopefully everybody's excited about that. I'm super excited about an NBC pick. I'm excited that even though the 4-gate was disappointing and came out so short, we're still going to be able to get it out to our members, the 30 bottles. And then I know with our group that the people that get it, they're going to be sharing it. They're going to be sharing samples. They're going to have it at the annual event. So really excited with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a blast. I mean, it's going to be really interesting because we're going to have 5 bottles right there at the year-end event that are being auctioned off. So I'd be stunned if some of those don't get opened up. Yeah.
Right. Well,
so fifth quarter tailgate's got a good question. Are $5 supporters same access to 4-gate at 65? We did discuss that. That's going to be, we've got 140 people at $65. If 140 people pass on 25 bottles, then we'll go to the $5 tier. But we do give the $65 people shot first at that. And Eric has a great point. So from a member standpoint, thinking you are getting a 4-gate pick and getting a replacement that's valued nearly $100 less is kind of disappointing. While I do hear you 100%, and Eric, I know you've had some NBC that is very, very good. Sometimes things are just out of your hands and you have to be able to pivot, So ultimately at the end of the day, if we could have made we picked the 4-gate with 100% intentions of making it work. And we did play the odds a little bit, knowing that most of their barrel picks had yielded more than we needed. The only one that hadn't was Jason and Scott's. And then to have it fall through. Now I do understand that there is a $100 retail difference. But there ain't $100 taste difference.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I said, it does free up it's like we're looking at now, like literally I did the math today. It's over $13,000 swing as more money for charity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will add, if you guys, we did our due diligence and talked to 4-gate about only sending us samples that they thought would yield enough for our members. We did everything we could. This is just the bourbon game. Sometimes those things happen. Sometimes stores lose barrels. Like nothing's guaranteed. Yeah. So it's just it is unfortunate, but like I said, I think it's a blessing in disguise. We're going to have more money for charity. I truly believe you guys are going to get a barrel that tastes every bit as good as what we were getting, and we're just going to have more money for charity. So
I'd be shocked if it wasn't better.
Yeah.
Now, Mark says, is there a chance we'll get another opportunity for a 4-gate in the future? I won't say that we won't ever do it in the future, but after we found out what the wholesale cost was, which, like Josh said, the margin on the 4-gate, a normal barrel, normal whiskey bottle, you've got 30 to 40% margin to play with on the wholesale side, which helps out with our format of what we're doing. And that was more like 5 to 10% margin. It was tight and it was super expensive. So while I won't say we will never do a 4-gate, Probably not soon.
And I think we have had this conversation. I want to be clear, behind the scenes, we have talked about if we would ever take another crack at one. And I think it would, to even make it happen, it would have to be an in-person thing. We could not rely on them to send us samples. Like, we need to be there to verify.
With the cost is just, I mean, when we are not joking when we say the cost is significantly more than the normal barrel pick.
Well, and like we were kind of joking when we did our short barrel at Elijah Craig, we could literally pick that barrel up with one finger and it yielded 90 bottles. I'm sure my daughter could lift a 30 bottle barrel over her head.
I mean, it would just feel like an empty barrel. I will say the bourbon engineer said NBC usually greater value than on secondary. Yeah. I mean, National Barrel Company, good National Barrel picks are definitely valued more. Not that, we need to get into a secondary discussion or whatever, but yeah, they typically do go for more than Forgate. But yeah, I mean, I do understand if anybody's disappointed, trust me, I think the entire board understands. We are all disappointed that this didn't work out the way we expected it to. But yeah, like, I mean, for better, for worse, for indifferent, like Lance said, them's the breaks, kid. And we've got to pivot best we can.
And like Josh said, we have to pivot. We just have to make our changes, keep moving forward, making sure we get out that 6th barrel. And that's the other thing was the time frame, right? Like in that 12-month period, now we've only got a couple months left. We got to be able to find somewhere to do the pick, get that 6th barrel in there, and then get it out to everybody. So that's what it is.
That's a really good point, Joe, because it did put us in a time crunch. We found this information out very recently, and it was not a good day.
We got things moved and done fast, guys.
Yeah,
fast.
And that's credit to National Barrel being so quick to be able to make this even a possibility. But it does also, we are. One of the big conversations, and this is like super transparency for you guys, one of the big conversations we have behind the scenes is cash flow. This is a big thing. We can't spend more money than we have. We have to make sure we are meeting our charity needs. Ultimately, that's what this exists for. We had anticipated this being part of what we were going to pay for. This now frees us up to do an NBC barrel, and it gives us the option and the latitude from a budgetary standpoint to start looking toward the picks next year. And we've already talked about some really exciting stuff as well that I think you guys will be very excited about. And we wouldn't have been able to have those conversations if we shelled out what is essentially the price of 2 to 3 barrel picks for a single Forgate barrel.
So Eric's got a good question. With the NBC pick being done in January, are they on track to receive all 6 within the 12 months? Yes.
Yep.
Because we are doing the pick at 10 a.m., they're going to be bottling them. I'm going to have my truck there, and pretty much that same weekend when we leave, I'm going to drive up to A1 with all of your bottles in the back of the truck and drop it off. So we are going to have it that same weekend we do the pick. So,
yeah, we had talked about options to replace the Forgate pick, and it was a very high priority item to ensure that you guys got 6 bottles in the first year. Like, that's in our bylaws. And this whole situation just frankly put us in a really big crunch in regards to that. So to be able to have an option like Nashville Barrel, and I'm telling you guys, it's not a consolation. I wanted the Nashville Barrel pick in the first place. I'm just going to be honest with you. But again, Illinois only gets a very, very little bit of Nashville Barrel, and those don't get out. They're servicing the stores. So it really took all these pieces of the puzzle coming together for us to even be able to get an NBC pick for the club.
And we talked about, like, very seriously other avenues we had, and we had to contemplate, well, what if a store loses that barrel? What if their bottling line goes down, like Hard Truth's bottling line went down? Like, there's a million things that could happen where we wouldn't have your 6 bottles to you by March. And Nashville Barrel Company was like, literally like, a light from heaven that shone down and was like, this is perfect. We can bottle it that next day. Are you kidding me? Yeah. So,
All right, guys. Well, we are halfway through our hour stream here, and I'm sure everyone wants to hear from Kim and not from us anymore.
that's true.
Yeah.
So,
If you do have questions, leave them in the chat. But yeah, let's keep it moving. I think I'll gush over Nashville Barrel all night if you guys let me.
Yeah.
If you just tune into Stuff and Whiskey, that's basically all I do over there.
Yeah. All right. Well, Kim, you want to take it away?
Yes, I'm so excited about the annual event. So we announced previously it's the weekend of July 12th and 13th. And I am happy to say that tickets are going on sale. So there'll be a link posted in Patreon and in Discord to a Google form to fill out. So fill out the form, and then tickets will be $400, which I think is what we talked about trying to stay at. And because of the way we're doing it, we are giving you the option to fill in the form and confirm that you'd like to come in December. And then you can either pay for the full ticket in January, or you can do 5 monthly payments of $100 each, January, February, March, and April. So to recap the things that we're doing, so we'll have a welcome reception Friday night at the Hyatt in Louisville, and we'll be up in the Spire, which if you haven't been there, it's beautiful. It's a rooftop circular room that has windows overlooking the city, so it's great. Saturday, we will head up to Starlight on some big buses, and we will do a barrel pick with everybody. We'll have lunch up there. We'll do some tractor trailer tours. You can pick some fruit. They have some shops. I think it'll be fantastic. Then we'll come back and have our evening event Saturday night. That'll include drinks and dinner. And the best part will be presenting funds to the charity. Now, we did hint a little bit about trying to get some VIPs and some extra events added. So I'll tell you that Heather Wibbles, who's the Cocktail Contessa, agreed to do a cocktail class Friday afternoon. So still working all the details out on that, but we'll provide some more information probably in the January or February timeframe. Fred Minnick has put on his calendar that he will be joining us on Saturday night. So it'll be my job to keep bugging him about that and hold him to it. But we'll figure out, if we can do a VIP tasting or something else with him Saturday before the dinner. And so those are the kinds of people that we are trying to attract and have join us, along with representatives from our charities and our distilleries. So that's the update. Super excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, come on, everybody, right? The Cocktail Contessa, Fred Minnick himself, maybe some other speakers around that kind of level in the whiskey sphere. That's super exciting. I got confirmation that we have a representative from Make-A-Wish Foundation that is going to be there to accept the check. Our other charities are on board. I think, Josh, didn't you say To Write Love on Her Arm? They're going to have a representative there.
Yep.
So we're going to have representatives from the charities there actually receiving the check. I've confirmed we've confirmed Middle West, Hard Truth, Heaven Hill, at a minimum, at least, to have representatives there.
And Nashville Barrel said with this pivot, they love charity and they want to be there as well. So they will be there.
Perfect. So our goal is to have a representative from all the charities. We're almost got them all narrowed down, and all of the distilleries that we've done a pick with to be there in person, have representatives, as well as our special guests that Kim just talked about. So it's going to be wild. It's going to be one of the biggest whiskey events of the year.
I cannot wait. Kim, you've done awesome. I did want to make one correction. You said 5 payments. I think it's 4 payments, right? January, February, March,
April. 5, I meant to say 4.
Yep.
Yes.
4 $100 payments. And hey, that's just buy one less bottle that month. Come and have the time of your life. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic event in such large part to Kim's hard work on this.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
And the other thing I'll mention is, I did check on our hotel room block. 42 of the 50 rooms in our block have been reserved for that weekend.
Ooh, you better hurry up and get your room. I will say the one thing that Kim did delegate to me was creating the form. So if there's a mistake on the form, go through it carefully. It's my fault, not Kim's fault. So go through that form carefully. Make sure there's a couple things to pay attention to, making sure you're marking how many tickets you want. And if you mark 2 tickets, then there's a spot to put who your guest you're bringing name is for that ticket as well. So just go through it slowly. You don't need to rush. If it's a mistake, blame me, not Kim, and we'll get everybody taken care of.
You can blame me and Josh too, because we tested it this morning.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, Aaron and I are so looking forward to being at this. I mean, obviously I'm going to be there, but Aaron's looking forward to it too. And it's going to be an absolutely fantastic time. The barrel pick process at Starlight, if first off, if you've never been to Starlight, it's just unreal. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. The grounds there, what they're going to let us do. I mean, basically just not have free reign necessarily, but we're going to get to have a pretty good time there. And look, the fat kid in me, they got an ice cream shop right there. The ice cream is so good, you guys. So, and their restaurant's awesome. The whiskey's good. We're going to pick some barrels. And again, I think we specified this. I want to clarify. The Starlight pick is not part of any of the 6 barrels for next year. That's just bonus icing on the cake. Unintentionally, that's what Four Gate ended up being icing on the cake this year. That's our 7th kind of unintentionally. That's what Starlight is going to be next year. Obviously, I think it's going to be something special for everybody that's there to be able to get a bottle or 2 of that. And depending on what we pick, there should be as well. Even if you can't attend, you should be able to purchase one of the Starlight bottles.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I don't know if Kim Kim thought of this, but when we first sat down and started Barrels for Hope, one of our biggest goals was to make this organization where people could like mark a bucket list item off, and barrel picks are one of those things. And we only do 6 picks a year, and we're picking 4 to 5, so there's still a lot of people that can't do a pick. And Kim like just comes in with an event and says, heck, we're just going to have everybody be able to do a pick the first year with this Starlight. So I'm so excited for the Starlight pick. Everybody will get to do a pick in the first year of the organization. So that's pretty exciting.
Yep.
And Earl did ask, did I hear right? Sometime in December, the form will be posted. And this is the form for the thing. I mean, we can
for the tickets.
For the ticket. Theoretically, we could post it on Patreon right after this.
It's ready to go right now.
Yeah. Joe, please post it.
Yeah, so we'll get that posted for you guys. It'll hit Patreon. Even if you're, obviously you would not be watching this if you're not here to watch this, but you'll get notified through Patreon. Even if you're not watching this, you'll get notified through Patreon that it's up.
And again, we hope this helps you guys out, because we know it's Christmas and budgets are tight and all that stuff. So we hope dividing it out in those monthly payments helps everybody have a chance to go that wants to go.
Do you want to?
And I will say one of the reasons we're doing it this way is because we looked at different apps. You've probably used different ticketing apps. They're very expensive. They have lots of fees and they don't have payment plans. Reggie will be sending out links to everybody for invoices, just like for the extra bottles. So thanks to Reggie, who couldn't be here tonight, but he's taking on a lot of work just to save all of us on fees.
Yeah, it saves us like what, $2,000 or more. So
yeah.
Yeah,
we even offered, we said, Reggie, this is a lot of work. Do you want us to just use a platform for this? And he's like, nah, I don't like the fees. I'd rather save the money and put it towards charity. So, huge shout out to Reggie for doing all that he does for us. Again, I cannot stress enough, guys, how amazing it is that we have a competent treasurer on board, because that for anybody that forgot, I used to be the treasurer, and nobody needs that. This would not be what it is without Kim and Reggie, to be honest with you guys.
The Reggie app. I like it.
I do too.
Hey Lance,
Yep.
I'm not logged in to the creator side of our Patreon. I'm just gonna text it to you right now, and you can send it out.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Actually, will you email it to me? Can you email it to me?
Yeah.
And Joe, can you drop it in the chat? Maybe, maybe not. Alex Bruyere. I'm assuming that's how you say your last name. Bruyere, like Gruyere cheese, which is a cheese I adore from the bottom of my heart. But he said he wants me to do his taxes. I mean, we can talk about it.
That's a long pause, Josh.
I mean, I can do them. They will get done. If they're going to be right or not, that's a whole different ballgame.
Brian, oh, sorry, Josh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, make sure you're dropping any questions that you have in the chat because we'll do our typical Q&A at the end of this.
Does anyone want to tackle Brian's question there? We have more people that want to go. How will the tickets?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we have 100 tickets, and that is a limitation just based on logistics, space at the hotel, seats on the bus. We'll have 100 tickets, and it will be as people sign up, they'll have tickets. If we surpass 100, we will keep a waiting list in case people are ultimately unable to join that signed up to go.
And we are allowing people to bring a +1. We want everybody to be comfortable. I think this has been discussed on live streams before when we've talked about the year-end event. But, post in Discord, if you're going to be going solo and you need somebody to look at sharing a room with or something like that, if you're so inclined, check that out. That could be a good way to, meet people, have more opportunity to just make it feasible for you to go. If there's any question mark on that, or, if you just want to run it solo, we're going to be there. Come hang out, flag us down, let us know you're there. And inevitably at things like this, it's just a good time for everybody. Like we're all hanging out. It just feels like you're getting together with family. So it's going to be a really great time.
There we go. Lance, can you approve that post then on the comments?
Let's see.
It says comment failed. Can you see it? So I don't think it's going to let me post a link because I didn't create the live stream.
I don't see it. Did you email it to me already? Because I don't see an email yet.
No.
Okay.
I was trying to. My email on my phone was not cooperating.
I mean, if we
Hey,
don't
Joe,
get
it's
it done
the
now,
same
we
link
can do
you
it
sent
right
me
after.
this morning, right?
Yep.
Lance, I'll email it to you right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. My computer's, I don't know, doing something.
We'll open the kimono for you guys a little bit here. Lance, just make us mods.
Yeah.
Make us mods on the channel, and then we can post links.
Oh, I don't even know how to do that.
I don't know how to do it either.
I just run a YouTube channel. I don't know how to do anything.
We're like the most technologically, and when I say we, I'm talking about me.
Oh, no, I need
incompetent.
to have people do this for me. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The other day, somebody was like, "I'll be a wrench on your channel." I go, "I don't know what that is or how to make you one. So what is going on here?"
I know how to do it
Josh,
through the
you have
back
to.
end. I know how to do it through the back end, but I don't know how to do it on the fly. Like maybe in YouTube, in the YouTube live stream, you're supposed to be able to like hover over somebody and make them a mod or something. I don't know. Somebody, I need Adriana. She's the one that knows these things.
There's too much to know and not enough time to learn it.
Exactly. Okay, so Scott's a mod on quite a few channels. He said 3 dots next to the commenter, make a mod. But you have to do it through YouTube, not through StreamYard, Lance. Earl,
Yeah.
this is like the equivalent. This is the equivalent of like when I try to do FaceTime like with my daughter and her grandparents, and the phone is like down here, and they're
Hey,
like,
there it is.
"How does this work? I don't know how."
How's that?
There we go.
All
Now
right,
pin it.
who's going to
Pin
be
it.
the first person to
Okay.
try the link out? Who's going to be the first person to try the link?
How do I pin it? It
You
doesn't-
should be able to in YouTube hover it over it and pin post.
Oh, in YouTube, I got to go to
Yeah.
YouTube. This is
Yeah,
getting way too
StreamYard
complicated.
does not allow a lot of functionality.
Hmm.
While we're really on the struggle bus here, guys, let us know what you're sipping in the chat.
Anybody got the hard truth going?
I was gonna do the hard truth tonight, but with the turn of events, I thought it prudent to sip some Nashville Barrel Company for the umpteenth time in my life, just to make sure that we're
Not
on
like
the
you've
right
never had-
track.
Oh, we got a new registration. See, at least my phone's working and giving me notifications when people register.
There we go. Heck yeah, guys.
We got our first registration. Awesome.
I think it's pinned.
And I know this was said, but I'll reiterate. We are going to be collecting this I don't know what you want to call it, like online commitment or whatever through the month of December. We'll probably post about it again before the holidays. And the payment process will not start until January. We want everybody to be able to get through the holidays, focus on family and all that stuff. We'll deal with all this in January. Robert says he's at work at the firehouse, so no drinks for me tonight, but thank you for your service, man.
Yeah. Thanks for being there. Cheers. Anyways.
Ben says if he is local, can he come to the pick? While very convenient, and we would love to say yes, in the interest of fairness to all, we will run the opt-in process and do the randomization. If it happens to work out, that's absolutely fantastic. That would be amazing.
Now, if he's local, I mean,
Why haven't we gotten pours at NBC already, Ben?
right.
What the heck?
And, well, that's a good question. Because I've been in Nashville, 3 times this year already? And we're going to be meeting up. I mean, we're going to be doing lunch together, dinner together. So make sure you're messaging and keeping in touch during that time.
Yeah, I will say that's a great point, Joe, because typically when we go to do picks, sometimes we're going to places we've never been before. We may not know too much about them or what there is good to do. This is hometown for me. So we're going to have a good time. We are doing the pick. We're doing lunch afterwards. We're getting together for dinner after that. People will probably be going back over to NBC to do some flights and stuff before dinner. We've got plans that night. It's going to be a great weekend.
Okay, I think I got the link posted in Patreon and pinned on
Yep.
YouTube. Who needs
Got
a
it.
25-year-old?
Keep them.
All right. Did I miss any questions while I know Josh was going through them?
Yeah, I'm scrolling up to see if I missed anything. Lots of people really enjoy watching us struggle with technology.
Yeah. I'm already
Really?
they're already getting their digs in. Hey, we got a lot of registrations coming through. My phone is like pinging.
That's amazing, guys. You should be watching this live stream right now, but we'll let it slide. Court will allow it.
Here you go, Joe. Now you can just answer everybody. Did mine come through?
I'm not looking everybody up, but it probably did. If you submitted it, because I've gotten, 15 or 20. There's another one, maybe 30. I don't know.
So I do think Alex raises a good point. Alex Bruyere says, so 6 payments for me. He's from Canada. He says $400 USD is 600 Canadian for him. So he's got to do 6 payments. This actually that's hilarious. It brings up a good question. I feel like at the year-end event, we got to have some kind of award for like the furthest traveled, right? Like, Alex, are you coming? Are you coming? Like, there's got to be some type of,
well, see,
there's got to be some type of something.
That depends on where at in Canada, right? Because like Canada for me is like only 45 minutes that way. So
It's true.
like if someone's coming from California, that's going to be.
Are you in South Canada, Joe? Southern
No,
Canada?
Not quite. I am 5 miles from the border for South Canada
Okay.
and 45 minutes from actual Canada. So. Anybody watching? That's that state with that team up north.
Oh, so Top Dog said, and I did answer him in the chat. He said, Josh, will you hand deliver locally to save shipping on the Nashville barrel bottles? Because Top Dog is local. I'm local. They will be ready that afternoon. Even if you're not part of the pick, the idea that we've discussed is that after the pick, we'll go out for lunch together. And then full disclosure, Joe and I will be coming back to Nashville Barrel to do a Stuff and Whiskey MVP pick that afternoon. We actually already had that scheduled. We moved that pick to the afternoon so that Barrels for Hope could take our original pick spot and we could have them bottle it same day. Even if you're not part of the pick and you are local to Nashville, after lunch, come hang out at Nashville Barrel Company. Come do some flights, hang out with other members who are on hand, join us for dinner after the fact, join in the weekend activities.
Mm-hmm.
Actually being involved in the picks is a limited experience just because distilleries do not let you bring in a ton of people. But outside of the actual pick experience, if you are local to any of the picks that we do or want to come and hang out for the bottle shares and things that go down at picks after the fact, the more the merrier. Come on.
Yeah. We won't be going to Southside Kitchen and Pub though.
No, we will not.
No. I will
No, we will not.
I'm still disappointed about that.
We will finalize plans. And when we know if it, by the way, this is actually good too. Let us know if you are, once we do the pick process and randomize everything, if you are not part of the pick team, but you are local or near enough or want to just come hang out, even if you're far away,
So
let us know.
Matt says define local because I have a truck and I will drive.
Go for it, man.
Let's go, man. Come on up. And Matt's got a sweet freaking truck too. I love that Tacoma.
Oh, Tacoma. Okay.
Yeah. It's
Oh my gosh.
nice.
So my truck, Josh, today, I was driving. I was actually scared. I thought my truck might break. We had to pick up some block and brick for the distillery. And I figure, I got a 3/4 ton, a 3,000 pound payload. I figure the pallet might be 3,000 pounds most. Oh no, it was almost 5,000 pounds. My truck was hurting.
Were you doing the thing where it felt like like your back end was wagging all over the place?
Oh, the back end was wagging all over the place. It was crazy.
I feel like a lot of people appreciate this. When I learned how to drive, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, and when the 90s are a lot different than nowadays. So when I learned how to drive, it was in an old pickup truck that was 3 on the tree, 3-speed on the column. And for whatever reason, it was like their dude just picked up a big load of sand, and that truck was not rated for that load. And they're like, yeah, hop in there, drive it. And I mechanically, I understood how a stick shift works, so I was able to work all that out. But I should not have been behind the wheel of that thing at all.
It was scary. I thought I was gonna drive it to work and then just go there afterwards. And I'm like, nope, I gotta go straight there and I gotta get this weight out of my truck because this is not good. Yeah, Josh's truck definitely yes. Josh's truck beats mine. I have truck.
Well, here's the difference. When I was that young, I was too dumb to realize how dangerous that was. And now, being of Joe and I's age, we are the same age. I've got enough sense enough to know that was an incredibly dangerous situation, and I would have been a lot more nervous in Joe's shoes than I was back then. Back then, I was like, "Oh, this feels weird," but whatever.
Oh, it felt.
Don't clip that. Nobody clip that, please.
So I thought I had maxed out my truck before, but I must have only had about the heaviest load I've had probably 2,000 pounds in it, because this was way different.
Sorry, I'm just writing 54-minute mark.
Oh, okay. Talking about trucks and loaded up for
feels weird, but whatever. Paul P did ask if this is he asked this much earlier. He asked if this is where I show us all my Nashville Barrel Company tattoo. I do not have a Nashville Barrel Company tattoo, but I do
will come
have
January.
I do have it. Yeah.
Oh, there's a year end event for charity.
I do have a t-shirt and a hat, which is more than I have for most distilleries. But yeah, I definitely do fanboy pretty hard for them. And I mean, when the whiskey backs it up,
Yep.
I let my palate decide who I brag on.
Well, we haven't gotten a question in a while.
No,
So,
Alex, we appreciate you making it international, buddy.
yes.
Does that make us worldwide?
Worldwide.
Can we
dude.
claim that?
Yes, 100%. And it's going to be great. And again, can't thank Kim enough for all the work put into it. She lets me, do a few little simple tasks every now and then that she hopes I won't screw up. And it's going to be amazing. I'm super excited for everyone to have the opportunity to go.
How formal?
It will
we
not
haven't.
be formal.
Oh, it
It'll be
should
good.
be, man. Let's jazz this thing
So
up.
Well,
we can
we could have a
jazz
rolling
up Saturday
things.
night a little bit. We can jazz up Saturday night, but at Starlight all day, we'll be
Oh, no.
outside.
Yeah.
Well,
Friday
I'm talking
night
about the
when
dinner.
people are getting in, super casual.
So I did hear though that Josh is actually going to be emceeing, and he'll be in a tux for the dinner for the Czech presentations.
I was
So-
actually going to show you guys. Lance and I have actually been talking about what we're going to wear, and we've got these on order. We are going to be looking pretty fresh. I'm not going to lie.
I'll tell you guys, this is my work outfit. Like, I wear a hoodie and shorts every day to work, all day, every day. So I'm fine dressing up. My wife would love that. At least for like one of the dinners, we should.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
One of the things that I like to say when anybody asks about the question of formality, and I am in Tennessee, not Kentucky, but Tennessee and Kentucky kind of exist in this same kind of pocket in this regard, in that, like, Nashville formal or Kentucky formal, Louisville formal is like, somebody might be in a suit, somebody might be in like jeans and a button down or something, like it's, there's some wiggle room there.
All right.
My husband Mark and I went to a charity event that was in rural Texas. It was black tie optional. I made him wear a suit. Somebody was there in jeans and a flannel shirt, and he was mad at me all night.
All right.
I get it.
We are at the hour mark. We still don't have any new questions, so I think we'll call it here and say cheers to everyone. Thanks again for all your support. Hope you're really excited with the news. I hope you're excited about NBC, excited about what we're doing with kind of the disappointment of the 4-gate, and then super excited with all the work Kim's put in. So thank you all, and cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers all. Love you guys. Thank